Hi, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Tech Talk. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Cloverbook Pro Advanced Electronic Magnifier. The Cloverbook Pro is a really neat foldable electronic magnification device from SiteCare with some really quite advanced features, and I think it would be great for students and professionals. So let's take a look at some of the basic features here of the Cloverbook Pro. First of all, we'll go ahead and turn it on. It takes a second to boot up here. We'll see the SiteCare logo on the screen, and then we're going to be through to our near magnification. And here we have a document being displayed on the screen, and this is in regular color. So across the front panel, we have a number of different controls. And let's take a look at the magnification first. So we have a magnification dial that we can turn to the right to magnify, and to the left to minify. And we can get very, very large at the top magnification. And at the lowest magnification, we can get things nice and small and fit a lot of text on the screen. The screen is a good size. It's over 12 inches, so we do have a good amount of screen real estate on there. Opposite to the magnification dial, we have the different colors, and there's a number of different colors to choose from, all the ones that you would expect there. And so we have yellows and high contrast white on black, black on white. We have blues and we have greens. And then we're back to regular color. So a good selection of colors, and we can actually choose colors in the menu and set which colors we want to be available when we go ahead and turn the color dial there. Some other buttons along the front surface. We have a joystick in the middle. To the far left, we have the home button, which will bring up a menu, and to the far right, we have a text-to-speech button. Let's take a look at this joystick, because we can do live panning with the Cloverbook Pro. And so if I magnify a little bit here, and using the joystick, now that I'm zoomed in, I can push the joystick to the left to pan to the left, up to pan upward, down to pan downward, and to the right to pan to the right. We can't pan the entire width of a document, so it is a fairly limited range of movement there, but it does help us. We don't have to move the document perhaps as much as we would do otherwise underneath the camera, because we do have that degree of panning using the joystick there. So neat little feature. That can also be found on the Clover 10, which we did a video on a couple of weeks back. Now there are some additional buttons to the side here that we'll take a look at. To the right, we have our freeze frame. So we press that. Now we've frozen the image on the screen. We get a little lock to let us know that we have. And so if I move the document out from underneath now, the image is still there on the screen. And we can magnify that image. We can change the color of that image. And we can pan around that image using our joystick. So that's neat. If we press that same button on the right side again, we'll go back to our live view. And on the opposite side, on the left, we have a line marker button. And so now we've turned on our line markers. And one of the neat things with this is we're able to adjust the width of the line marker and the position of the line marker using our joystick here. And so let's take a look here. We'll make it a little wider, nice and wide there, a little thinner. And then we can move the position of it up and down. And of course, the point of this is if you lose your place as you're reading, you can use this line marker to help keep you on the line of text that you are trying to read. So we have both horizontal and we also have vertical if I press the line marker button again. So this will be useful for reading columns. And again, we can adjust the position and the width of that with our joystick. And then we have masking as well, and so with the masking it will block off all of the screen except for an area inside which we can position the line that we're currently reading. And again, we can adjust the width of the windowing and also the position of the windowing using our joystick. And again, we have both horizontal and vertical to choose from there. So if you do find line markers useful, then this is a really nice machine, because it's very easy to kind of get them up and then move them where you need them and adjust the width of them to what you need, and so on and so forth. One of the other buttons that we have on the left side here is a button which will switch views. Now the Cloverbook does have a distance camera built in. So the distance camera is located on the side, and I can go ahead and rotate that upward here. And the camera is at the top of this kind of vertical this vertical cylindrical part that's built into the stand here, and the camera is able to move from side to side and rotate. So if I press the view button on the left, we'll actually switch to looking through that camera. Now we're just looking in the distance here. Let me use this hand actually. We're looking in the distance at nothing too exciting, but there we go. So there we are looking at the back of the room, and if we want to change our view, we can just move the camera. Like I say, it's quite adjustable, so you can get it where you need it. And we can also use our magnification dial to increase the magnification from the distance camera, and our color dial will change the colors from that camera as well. I do think it's a really neat design, the way that they've incorporated this distance camera into the stand here. It's very sturdy and it's very adjustable, so it works really well for distance viewing. And if we press the view button again on the left of the device here,
horizontal split screen.
Now we've actually gone into a split screen view where we're seeing from both the distance and the near camera. And so the distance camera is at the top, the near camera is at the bottom, and we're able to adjust the magnification of those independently from each other. So at the moment we're focused on our distance view, and we can change the magnification there by using our magnification dial. But by just tapping on the near view at the bottom here, now we can use our magnification dial to adjust the magnification there. And of course we can adjust the colors independently as well. Another cool thing that we can do is use our joystick to change the relative size of each of these areas. So let's say that I wanted the near view to be larger. We can adjust the size of that near area, which will obviously shrink the size of the distance area, and vice versa as well. If we want to adjust the size of the distance area, we can do that. So we can get it set up exactly how we need it, which is really, really cool. And in both of these views, if we're zoomed in, we can use our joystick to pan around. So here in my distance view, I can go ahead and use the joystick here just to pan around, which is actually a really, really nice feature, because oftentimes if you're trying to look at like the board or something in the distance, you only need a small degree of movement to see what you want to see. So having the joystick to do that is actually super cool. And again, if we focus on the near here, we can use our joystick here to pan around the near view. So that's all really cool. It's a very kind of very useful functionality, and not too difficult to wrap your head around either. Now we also have a vertical split screen as well.
Vertical split screen.
And so with this view, we're going to have the near view and the distance view displayed again, but this time they're split vertically. And all of those things we could do before that I just showed you, we can do also in this view. Well, let's switch back to our near view. And here we are back to our near view. So there's two buttons we have not looked at yet, and those are on the front surface. We have a text-to-speech button, and we have a home button. So let's use the home button first. That's going to bring up a menu here, and from here we're able to do some useful things such as turn off the device's lights.
All lights off.
And we'll turn them back on again. We can also turn off each light independently, so we can turn off the left light.
Right light on.
We can turn off the right light.
All lights off.
And turn them back on independently.
Left light on. All lights on.
So that could be pretty useful. We also have a screen brightness slider here, so we can go ahead and adjust our screen brightness from dim to bright. And we also have something that says A4, and I will come back to that in just a second. Before we do that, let's look at our text-to-speech button here, which unsurprisingly is going to get this device to read aloud to us. And so if I press this button at the moment, it's going to read just what it can see on the screen, which is not the entire page. Let's go ahead and turn up the volume a little bit here. Oops. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and hit this text-to-speech button. It will take a picture of what it can see on the screen and then read it to us. And like I say, this is not the entire page, it's just what it can see at the moment.
Current page text-to-speech.
Takes a second to process the image, as most of these machines do. So now it's processed the image and we have some controls here. I'm going to hit the play button. This is on the touch screen.
Device recommendations related to the vocational goal. Variations of SCR technology. Screen magnification technology.
Let me go ahead and pause it there. While we're in this text-to-speech mode, pressing the home button will bring up the menu for text-to-speech. We have a few different options here, including pause, play, voice speed, and we can change the view of the text from this regular page view into this text mode, which is a kind of computer font. We can magnify this, and we can change the color of it. And so as it's reading, it's going to highlight the words and display them on the screen in a very nice high quality print here for us. So I'm going to get out of this, and now we're back to the live magnification mode. I'm going to hit the home button, bring up the menu, and we'll go back to this thing that said A4 that I said we'll come back to. And this is basically the button that we use for full page OCR. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that.
Mode.
So now anything within the orange box on the screen will be read to us. Now if we want to capture the entire page, we do have to bring up the screen a little bit here. And so we'll lift it up a little bit more, almost kind of parallel to the base. Okay, so at this angle we can get the entire 8.5 by 11 on here. We'll hit the camera button on the touch screen, and I'm going to tilt the screen back down again. And we'll just give it a second here to do its processing. Okay, so now it's processed and it's displaying the page on the screen here. And if we want to get it read to us, we can hit our text-to-speech button.
Text-to-speech.
Give it a second here and it's going to start to read this to us. And we'll have those same functions that we did before. And so here's the control panel, we have the play pause button, we have the voice speed button, and we have the button which changes us into the text view. Before we look at those though, let's look at the page here. So it has an orange box around it and it's highlighted in yellow inside the box. And that shows us that it's identified just one text area on this page. So it recognizes this page as all one block of text. So unfortunately we can't demonstrate the kind of multi-block feature. However, imagine that this page had multiple areas of text on it, for example a bill where you have a number of different areas of text, and what will happen is the machine will be able to split those up into the different areas, and each area will have its own box around it. And so just by tapping on the box that we want to read, it will read that specific area of the page for us rather than us having to listen to the entire thing. So that's a really nice feature which it used to only be on the desktop CCTVs, but I've seen it on a couple of portable devices recently, and I think it's super useful because it helps us to scan through without having to listen to an entire page. But let's see how it did here with the OCR. We'll hit the play button.
Management tasks. A completed assessment report will be provided, as well as a staffing upon request. Individualized Braille assessment, 1 hour. An hour of assessment will be conducted to determine the effectiveness of a consumer's.
Okay, so that seemed to work pretty good. Now I will say that this machine doesn't always do the best job with the OCR. I have known it to mess up a few times, so your results may vary. In general, with general kind of your regular prints like your Arial or Times New Roman or whatever, it does a good job, but with some other fonts sometimes it can kind of make some mistakes. Thanks for watching part 1 of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and the Cloverbook Pro really does have some good features. If you want to get in touch with us, you can give us a call, 414-615-0103. You can email infocus@vision-forward.org, and of course visit our website, vision-forward.org. And stay tuned to the channel because in 2 weeks' time we will have the second part of this video where we take a look at some of the more advanced features of the Cloverbook Pro, including its use of 2 screens. So do stay tuned and make sure you look out for that in 2 weeks' time. See you then.